That's good.
That's a lot. But
Marc Gasol will shoot.
We'll shoot more threes.
And he won't be terrible.
More.
He won't be terrible, which will allow him to do it. Next person on this list, I like talking about because he's a former Phoenix Sun, Markieff Morris. Honestly, Markieff Morris was one of the people I was a big fan of here. I was really excited about the Morris twins. Dan Bacon, one of my good friends, is Rock Chalk Jayhawk for life. He has been talking about the Morai since they came into the league, one pickup. I have, my brother's like, yo, dude, check out this tattoo I got. And you're like, I got to get that same tattoo in that exact same place. Bro. I don't know if they coordinate every tattoo ahead of time or if it's like one of them gets one and the other one's like, well, you're a dick. Now I have to get that. Like, we have a whole thing. Like, we have 55 of the same tattoos. Like, you can't add one and me not add it. But I will say this. There is already an awkward chemistry situation emerging in Washington. This week were reports that Bradley Beal and John Wall came together and had discussions of how they don't like each other on the court. Like, they have on-the-court distaste for one another, but they're friends off the court, which is like the weirdest.
That's the worst thing that you could possibly have is not worried. But that's important that they're coming together and actually talking about that. But that's still
Bradley Beal, first of all, has no right to say anything to John Wall. Brad Beal needs to shut his mouth and stay healthy for more than 5 minutes before he starts talking shit to John Wall, who's actually a legitimate NBA player.
He's one of the top 5 point guards in the league.
I really like Brad Beal's skill set, but he is underachieved massively, and he made a ton of money despite... Mike, stop flexing. Stop doing the John Wall. So Mike's doing the John Wall flex stance, but it's funny to think that, there's already chemistry problems in Washington, and you're expecting to rely on Markieff Morris. So we'll see. I mean, it'll be fun to watch. That's one of the things I like about most of these bounce-back players is I'm actually genuinely excited to see what happens on the court. And the last player is somebody who I'm not excited to see on the court because I could really honestly care less about them. Terrence Jones, expected to be 2 wins above replacement better.
Good for him.
He's playing with Anthony Davis again. They both played at Kentucky together. They won a national championship. Maybe they know each other's.
People on this list. What is this, 5 or 6?
There's a lot of Kentucky people in the league.
That's true.
Everybody played for 1/3 of the league played for Job Calipari somewhere. So, but that's not an official statistic. So Terrence Jones, though, I mean, I'm trying to find the bright side when I say he's played with Anthony Davis before. Maybe he knows something about the way he plays and on his 3-point shooting, even though he's not great at it. So,
right.
Terrence Jones is just one of those guys who always seem like he's a little bit undersized for his position, doesn't really have a unique skill, one particular skill that he's great at to make up for the deficits that he has in all other places or just being slightly above average. I don't even see him being relevant on New Orleans, but then again, I also don't see New Orleans achieving what I think they're capable of. I really like Alvin Gentry. Alvin Gentry focuses on man-to-man defensive systems. Maybe that will be something that benefits Terrence Jones, although, honestly,
I don't see how. Let's be honest here.
I don't think most people even know who Terrence Jones is that are listening to this podcast. So he qualifies as bounce back to them because if they ever hear his name again, that'll be a bounce back. So
okay, you're going to go several games into the season. Oh, that's Terrence Jones? Oh, I remember.
He'll get dunked on by someone. He'll get dunked on by somebody, and then he'll be on the Blake Griffin poster.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll all know who Terrence Jones is.
There you go.
So
hey, he made the list. Good for him.
That's Doolittle's list. I think it's pretty interesting to see Brandon Knight and Eric Bledsoe both being projected to be worth about 6 wins in total between the two of them. And people still have the Suns losing a lot of games, 50, 55.
I'm trading Eric Bledsoe. I think he brings too much to Phoenix, and I just don't like the idea of going full 76ers tanking. So last year there was a legitimate reason. It's you had Bledsoe and then you had Knight that were injured and were out, and that's we can keep them out.
Yeah, it's like playing Kobe. Win. It's like a way to justifiably tank. It's Kobe's farewell tour. We'll play him 40 minutes a game, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're bummed.
We're gonna let him shoot 60 shots in a game because that's the only way that he can score 30 points."
But I don't think the Suns can pull that off. That's the difference. Is that this Suns team, because they have Bledsoe,
Knight, I could not see that next year we can win a couple more games. But because one offseason, one draft player isn't going to do what they need to. So I think McDonough has the right idea of next year going hard in free agency and trying to find the next LaMarcus Aldridge in free agency. By the way, fuck you, San Antonio, for taking LaMarcus Aldridge. I know we didn't really this year. That we can win a couple more games. And then the next...
So like Al Horford, Phil, such for leaving Atlanta to go to Boston because they can make a pitch to him.
And the other piece we're missing then is why we bring in people like Tyson Chandler and Jared Dudley to rebuild and help bring in that leadership, is those teams, when they're tanking, they have no leadership. They don't have anyone to help those young players develop and become better players. So the 76ers, Nerlens Noel and Joel Embiid and all of those people, I know he's not on them, but like all the younger players play like really well in college, and they look like they're going to be stars. And
could not tank, continue. I think that the Suns are going to wait and see how the first 20 games go before they start doing anything. And I look forward to asking them in person whether or not they're going to approach the season that way. But thanks, Mike, for joining me. Once again, we're at Boulders on Southern on the northwest corner of Alma School and Southern. For those of you in Arizona, come by, mention the podcast, get $1 pint, join us on Thursdays for the live broadcast. We're going to start bringing in some fans, take some questions and things like that. So I appreciate you, Mike. And
always a pleasure.
And everybody else, have a great night.